all on board. That's the expression we hear from the captain when he's inviting all the passengers to get on board. We are about to get a journey, an adventure, a trip. You know how much I like trips. That's the reason for being here. But for a moment, we are thinking about the cruise ship. And remember, cruise ships are huge, tremendous, humongous. 4,000 people in a ship, like in a building with a lot of autonomy to travel for a week, maybe for a month. 30,000 pounds of beef, including hamburgers. Or eventually for eggs, the omelets, we need 30,000 eggs as well. But wait a minute, the topic I'm going to point here is get to the point. And I'm not going to be talking about commercial sailing or commercial ships. We need to go back 500 years ago. For the ones that were here in my previous speech, you're going to say, this guy is crazy. And he's going to be speaking about Christopher Columbus. You are correct. My famous friend, Cristoforo Colombo, an Italian guy, 500 years ago, he was sailing in the Mediterranean Sea with this kind of ship. So what I want to do right now is to explain all the kind of difficulties that they had in order to approach the West coming from the East. Number one, we are talking about provisions. Number two, that's supposed to be the number one, is the chart. The chart, and that's the title of my speech, Uncharted Waters. Let's pretend this is Europe, this is Africa, and this is the unknown, because this is the Atlantic Ocean. So this guy with 3 caravellas, similar to the ones we have, he was able to move with some charts. They were written by hand, with so much information about tiny details, how to go from port to port. That's called coastal navigation. But that was the first time that someone wanted to go further. Coastal navigation implies that you go traveling for 1 day or maybe 2, because you had enough provisions. But in this case, because of the chart ends here. So what's going to happen afterwards? Uncharted waters. As simple as that. And then he made his calculation. He was a terrible guy, smart. He knew everything about the stars, the charts, and then he said, it's going to take me 32 days to travel 2,000 miles. Was that a joke? It took 70-something days to travel 4,000 days. Excuse me, 4,000 miles. What's the implications about provisions? They run out of provisions. Number two, what about the chart? It's ended. Not enough chart, no GPS. Not because they didn't have batteries, but they didn't have the concept of GPS. Now the third one is going to be the power. What kind of engine they were using? The wind. They knew, he was a sharp guy that knew very well something called the trade winds. Trade winds is something like this. If I say this is Europe and this is Africa, if I want to go this way to Asia, as he was expecting, I'm going to take my boat like this, going south to Africa, and then going west. As simple as that, because the wind was blowing this way. Just let me ask you, what if he wants to return? No way. What if he wants to brake? That's another story, because these ships, they don't have brakes, as you do in your cars. So, if they want to travel against the wind, it's going to be impossible, because the wind is going to be always blowing this way. So the only way to sail is something like lateral, and then release the main sheets, the square ones, and then use the triangular ones. But as you may see, you're going to be able to go only this way or this way. But if I want to return this way, it's not going to be possible. That's one of the logistics that you need to know when you're going to sail with a sail ship. So let's continue moving down to the unknown until he was able to find the Caribbean. That was October. Good. The trade winds, I'm talking about all the winds that we know now as the hurricanes. Have you realized that they come from Africa? And they move the air in a certain way. They are pushing here all the way through the Caribbean. how was he able to return? Well, he was a sharp guy, and then he had to do something like this, which is, okay, I'm going to take these winds going up north a little bit, all the way to the Carolinas or Georgia today, not so close to the land because he knew that, but anyway, he knew about that wind. And then he took the other part of the wind, which is going to Europe. And he was successful traveling and going back to Europe using the other part of the winds that are called the westerlies, and the other ones were the easterlies. So, ladies and gentlemen, life is a journey. And I have a sentence for you. Be open-minded to adventure and discovery. Eventually you will discover your own America or eventually your own Asia, but have fun in your own journey. Thank you.